Asher is probably the most loving little boy you'll ever meet. He loves everybody. He fits his name, happy and blessed.
I want to tell you a story about my son Asher.
On September 13th, we woke up, had a normal morning. He woke us up around 6. We got ready for work. I dropped him off at the sitter's house, and everything was fine. He wasn't sick. His personality was completely there. He was laughing, playing. And then at 9:59, I got a phone call from his babysitter. She said, "I think he's had a seizure." And I was like, "No, he's fine. Nothing happened this morning." Like, he acted like himself. So I don't really remember everything when I left to go get him. It's all such a blur. But when I get there, he had definitely had a seizure. He was still seizing. He was looking off to the side. My baby was stiff as a board. A sight that no parent should ever have to see.
She called me whenever she was on the way to the babysitter's house, and she said, told me what was going on, that the babysitter thought he was having a seizure. She was like, "It can't be right, but I'll call you back once I get there." So I hung up, and I was nervous, obviously, and I was just sitting there waiting at my desk. And then she calls back and says he's having a seizure, and she's, upset, obviously. And so next thing I remember, I was out of the house in about 2 seconds and driving to the emergency room. And I get there, and he's actively having a seizure, and I don't know, it was terrifying. Very terrifying.
He seized for maybe 30 minutes plus. Like, we really don't know how long his seizure was for. And so Daniel walks in, and we both lost it. Like, we couldn't even talk, and we were just hugging Asher. They put him on a preventative medicine, and thank God that we got another medicine in case he started having seizures again. He did start having seizures again, and we're back at the hospital in the middle of the night, and we're admitted, and then we're sent from St. Francis to Baton Rouge at Our Lady of the Lake. While we're there, he ends up getting put on the ventilator. He's in a medical coma because he's still having seizures, and they're trying everything that they can think of. He's on several medicines, and the only thing that would stop his seizures was him being in a medical coma and on the ventilator. When they tried to take him off of it, he would start having seizures again. And you can't take your baby home like that. We tried one more test, and they had already told us that if they can't get the seizures to stop with this test, then we're going to send you to another hospital. So they try that test, and he's still having a seizure. So they put him back in the medical coma, and we are being told that, there's no choice where you're going. You're going to Memphis. And I remember just thinking at this point, like, okay, something's going on. Like, the devil is literally attacking our family right now, because there was nothing wrong with my child, and at this point, every test that they've run, everything's come back negative. Like, they cannot figure out why he's having seizures still. And so when we're going to Memphis, it was nighttime, and it was just me that was able to be on the airplane. Daniel had to drive up there from Baton Rouge. I remember just looking at him and looking out of the airplane. I wasn't talking to anybody, which, if anybody knows me, they know that that's odd, because I can talk to a brick wall. I was just quiet, and I was just watching the sunset, and I just remember thinking that God is going to take care of this. Like, I don't know when it's going to be taken care of, but God is going to take care of this. My baby's going to be okay. We didn't know if he was going to stop seizing. Like, we didn't know if he was going to even come home. And just, I had that calm feeling over me while I was on that plane ride that it's going to be okay. It's going to be a long ride, but it's going to be okay. And so we get to Memphis, and he doesn't have another seizure, like at all. Like not a documented one on the EEG, not one that you see. Like he has no more seizures.
Yeah, and we don't know why the seizures stopped. They didn't change anything with any medicine or do anything different. It's just they just stopped, and I attribute that to God. That I think was an obvious miracle.